Good afternoon, Chef Rob.
Hello, Anton.
Hi, good afternoon. And good afternoon to all the people watching on the live stream, most especially watching on the replay. We have a very special guest and kwentuhan with Chef Rob Pengson. Ano na bang pinagagawa mo, Chef? Chef Rob. And I'm really interested on how did you reinvent yourself. No? And I think a lot of people will learn from your story on how do you reinvent yourself, especially during this pandemic and moving forward. So, just listen in. If you have questions, please join us. My name is Anton Diaz, founder of Our Awesome Planet, and we're Awesome Live with Chef Rob Pengson.
All right. Thank you. And we're here talking to
Thank you for All right, Chef Rob. Maybe to do an introduction lang for most people. I'm sure a lot of the people in our industry know you, but people watching this, they might need an introduction about Chef Rob Pengson.
Sure. Okay, so hello everybody. Thank you, Anton, and Our Awesome Planet for having me. My name is Chef Rob Pengson. I've been a chef engaging in the Philippine food industry since 2002, 2003. Tagal na yun. No? It's my birthday month with my boys next on July. And so the three of us are having our birthdays on July. I'm turning 42. Oh my gosh. Started up around 22. 22 is when I started being a chef here in Manila. So to introduce myself really quick, I studied when I was younger. I had a hard time getting into traditional college because I wasn't of the traditional sort of intelligence. I was creative pala. And so I went, upon not entering any of the colleges, I went to culinary school in San Francisco. And when I got back, that's when I began my career. Believe it or not, my first job was selling paella and salpicao. I would walk through UP, Ateneo, Miriam, handing flyers. There's even one time I sold a fritada out of my car in Makati, and I didn't sell a single one. That was terrible. But so here I am, 20 years now, I'm a chef, and like everyone else, I'm going through a hard time. But despite the challenges, we're still in the fight. So I hope to share that with you in this talk.
All right. So let's siguro ang dami mong ginagawa during this pandemic, no? Maybe let's talk about Aleanza. What's the story of Aleanza Kitchen? How did it start?
All right. So Aleanza is my most recent startup that I'm engaged in. We started up by 2019. The concept
before the pandemic.
Right before the pandemic. We opened around November 2019, no? And the concept was to combine culinary and hospitality education on one side with food, beverage, and hospitality business operations on the other. Because there's a separation with school and business here in the Philippines, maybe all around the world also. So basically, but that's been my background ever since. Aleanza is the third culinary school I founded. I founded two culinary schools before that, and also it got acquired. So now with Aleanza, I wanted to combine everything so that we can make the journey from education to employment more efficient, more streamlined. And then, so we thought, ang ganda ng idea natin, diba? Tayo lang yung ganito. School, culinary school. Tayo lang yung may catering, restaurant, diba? Tapos biglang nag-pandemic. And then Mike Tyson has this famous quote, no? Parang you can have all the plans in the world, but the moment you get punched in the face, umiiba na talaga yung mundo. Diba? So the biggest punch that we received was definitely COVID. We thought it would only last 3 months, and here we are, a year and a half after. So we had to do a lot of changing throughout the journey, no? Truth be told, syempre, puro deliveries, food deliveries. It became so chaotic, diba? Parang lahat na lang tito, tita, pinsan, diba? Niece, nagbenta ng food online.
Oo, lahat na lang.
Yeah, tas also nagbagsakan ng price.
Correct.
And price war is never good for any industry. it's basically everyone's margins went down when people started dropping their price. No, it was not sustainable. So we went through a roller coaster ride. And so Aleanza now, we said, you know what? Kailangan meron tayong business pang pag nag-lockdown, kung sakaling mag-lockdown ulit, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, no? But I think the UK locked down 4 times, no?
Yes.
So just in case the third wave is unmanageable, we have to have business that is lockdown proof. So that's what kind of me, my partners, and their managers spoke about. Kailangan may business tayo na lockdown proof, na kahit mag-lockdown ulit, hindi tayo titigil.
Okay.
And then, so we started developing during the pandemic. Instead of closing our doors, we decided that if we develop products and services and learn from this pandemic, and it's funny, I even told myself, behave like the virus, no? Diba? Let's make brands that behave like the virus, where they penetrate different segments of the industry and just, they're able to multiply. So we started thinking like that. I know it sounds silly, but sometimes it's just the fire you need to fight to stay in the fight.
Yes.
Kasi kung hindi ka medyo baliw ng slight, you're gonna quit right away if you're too rational, no? If you accept it too much. So then we developed businesses for lockdown. Those are our food delivery business. I believe you tried Miam Miam. Miam Miam's our first official online brand. We have another brand coming on this month. Yon.
So
that
this
was
is
my lunch.
developed in the kitchen, in your kitchen.
Yes, this was developed in Aleanza Kitchen. So Aleanza is basically, we're a school, but we're also an F&B group.
But this is a cloud kitchen setup, correct? Or
yes, and the cloud kitchen is right beside our culinary school. It's inside the school.
It's inside the school.
Yes, kasi we want to make this ecosystem where ideally, future students and professionals will be in the same place.
Okay.
Oh,
Pero how did you set it up? It's the entire school, or these are student led, or how does it work?
Oh no, it's not student led. It's professional led, but we set it up so that we can give our students a priority when it comes to hiring, when it comes to internship. Kasi dun yung labanan because usually when you go to school, once your schooling ends, that's it. Goodbye, diba? So ayaw namin ng ganun. We're kind of thinking.
Kinumplete mo yung cycle.
Para my cycle. And in fact, we're creating this system now. I just had a meeting with the chefs yesterday, no? It's one kitchen handling our fine dining. That's beso beso. Handling our catering. We have catering, we do catering. And it's also one kitchen handling all our food deliveries.
Okay.
So it's like having fine dining food on the same time you're also selling out this delivery food. It becomes I would say it's a high performance kitchen. And so we require a high performance team. And our goal is to have plenty of these Aleanza kitchens around the country. Because parang nowadays, if your business model, let's just say, is my old business model, which is the fine dining world. But, so many chefs are saying it, from Jason Atherton to everybody. Fine dining is even Rene Redzepi, fine dining it's dying. It's going now. And it's all about convenience and mobile. So if you're only a one business model shop, so to speak, at any crisis like COVID will expose your weakness. And that's why ang dami nagsara na one model shop lang.
Yes.
So we want to spread our Aleanza Kitchen, which is combination of restaurant, delivery, and catering. We want to spread it all around the country, attached to schools. And our end goal is to franchise it out. Okay. And the reason why school is so important is because our students ideally will train in the Aleanza Kitchen even while they're still students, so that as we expand the business, meron na kaming candidates for head chef and sous chef that already know our system.
Okay. Hindi ba saturated ang culinary school in Manila? Before you answer that, we'll say hi lang to people commenting. No?
Sure.
Words, and of course, Chef Mike Tatum. Hello.
Hello, Chef. Simple in the house.
Simple in the house.
Oh,
So,
so my
yun nga, Chef, hindi
yeah.
ba, punong-puno na rin yung culinary school? What makes Aleanza different? So, what I'm hearing from you is, it's that integration, no, of
Yes.
parang end-to-end chain and different model. Is that,
Yeah.
do you think that would work in a post-pandemic Philippines?
Well, I believe that I do believe it will work because there were times during the pandemic where schools have been forced to shut down. So
Yeah.
we have never shut down. I mean, we shut down initially, pero it really gives us an extra boost. And when it comes to our talks with students, I think I have so many students who are friends and colleagues now. Their most common thing that they say is kulang is this parang integration with the real world. I mean,
Uh,
everything in school is
yes.
simulated, competition, but when you go out in the real world, things couldn't be so far from the truth. What they're teaching in school is such a big disconnect from the real world. Like for example, no, until this day, they're still teaching the brigade of Escoffier, yung may
Oo.
saucier, making
Oo.
the sauces,
Oo.
may cook, just cooking the fish. And if you do things that way in the old school way, my gosh, wala pang 1 month, you'll probably be bankrupt already.
Oo. Oo.
Diba? And this is Asia. Southeast Asia is so different from the rest of the world.
Uh-huh.
Diba? In
Oo.
schools now, they still teach classic French. And I admire a lot of French chefs. All I'm saying is that maybe the rest of the world needs more attention and not just France. Diba? Because truth be told, how many French restaurants are there in Manila?
Oo.
Or the Philippines for that matter? Diba? Mostly
Yeah.
it's Southeast Asia now that is causing so much buzz in the news.
Oo.
So
No, actually interesting yung Aleanza Kitchen education model mo. Kasi like for example, computer science, no, for example. Diba? That's always been the complaint. If you enter computer science here in a school, outdated na kagad when you go to the real world. So anong ginawa ng Google and Microsoft? They offered their courses, diba? And then you can learn there. They already said na kahit wala kang college degree, but as long as you enter our courses, certified courses, will get you kasi yung alignment nga with the industry and education is very important. So paano mo naisip yan pala? How did you get to think about that model?
I think I thought about it. Being a teacher, I hear so many, I wouldn't call them horror stories, no. I hear a lot of sad stories of students. We're the school na, I don't know if you noticed this chef without hands. Her name is Maricel. Yeah, she was our student from our school. I also had a student who he had a problem reading and writing, but my gosh, he was so good in the kitchen. Faster, better than anyone else, more consistent. And I myself was like that, diba? No college would accept me. Diba? And then people made fun of me at the time when I took culinary school, thinking there was something wrong with me because I went to culinary school. Diba? But so basically, I saw all these problems. And like most of my successful endeavors in life, it was about fixing a real problem that a lot of people were experiencing. And I think now more than ever, there's so many culinary students who pay so much for their education. It's anywhere from 300,000 to 1 million a year, diba? Our price is towards the lower end. We're at around 300,000. So it's affordable. But when they go out in the real world, like I said, no, the things that they're taught is so outdated. The rate of failure of culinary students opening business is astronomical. Diba? They think idaan lang nila sa plating, maganda yung apron nila, magaling sila sa social media, may baon silang tweezers. Alam mo yung uso ngayon ng mga bata, may tweezers sila habang nagpe-plate. That's not going to make a successful business. Diba? So I really truly believe the integration of industry and education will benefit the students, and not just the students, it also benefits us. And it also benefits the customers, because if the ecosystem is strong, we're at a better place to give more value to our customers. Pero if
Okay.
we're always struggling to find income, we're always struggling to survive, we'll start cutting quality here and there, diba? Stuff
Yes.
like that. So the vision has to be expansive, and that's what Alianza is about. And Alianza is a made up word for alliance, the alliance of education and industry.
Okay, galing ah. Now, I have a couple of questions, no. Marami ka na mention kanina. First, let's go back to Miam Miam, no. Why
Yan.
Miam Miam? You're not known for Thai, di ba? And why Miam
Yes.
Miam out of all, possible concepts you could go to?
Okay, wonderful, 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 wonderful. Our F&B, we have two main branches now, education and F&B. So now we're in F&B. Under F&B, we have three business models. Fine dining in Beso Beso, which right now accepts 18 people at 13%. Our focus there is my old love. It's tasting menus. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I dream about it. It might pay some bills, but it's definitely not going to pay for my kids' college bills. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I love it. It makes all of us as chefs fulfilled. We can get creative. Our second business model is catering, and catering pre-pandemic was our bread and butter. Obviously, during the pandemic, sobrang talo ang catering, di ba?
Oh,
Hirap na hirap eh. So then we had to do what everyone else was doing, which is online delivery, which is the future naman talaga.
mhm.
And so we said, you know what, if we're a school that we want to be a bona fide F&B outfit, we have to be serious about what we're doing, and it's a long term thing. It's not something that will tide us over when better times comes, no?
Oo.
And if you look at, like, for example, si Carlo Miguel now, he's with that company, no?
Yeah. Cloud
They're
kitchen
heavily
company.
invested in Cloud Kitchen. You have Eric D with Foodie. They opened Cravers, no? Also heavily invested in Cloud Kitchen.
Yes.
So, being that food delivery is the future, nag-all in na rin si Aleanza sa Cloud Kitchen.
Okay.
And then, Anton, this is funny, no? In the beginning, we were going with the trend, eh. Diba?
Oo.
Daming nagbukasan na chicken wing brands, diba? Chicken
Oo.
wings galore. And some were selling chicken wings at 12 pieces for the price lower than Frankie's price. And I was really, it's driving me nuts. Diba? How can you sell 12 pieces and actually
Oo
make
nga.
money like that, diba? Now they're all closed. Diba? Siguro they sold to their titos and titos. Now they're all closed. So we was said, what's our strategy for online delivery? So right now, we started with Miam Miam. And it was a toss-up. The reason why we started with Thai was because the head chef now that we have, Chef Colin. Hi, Chef Colin and team. Chef Colin is our head chef. She's a very strong Thai background. So we decided what are the brands that we're going to roll out this year.
Oo.
Initially na nga, we said 10 eh. But then
Okay.
as we went along, so parang I talked with my partners are very supportive. We always meet about it, no? We said let's just
Mhm.
make about 2 to 3 strong brands muna this year. Really strong. Pure delivery. And so we said, okay, let's do it Miam Miam. Because when we had the food tasting, everyone was craving for the kropek.
Oo.
Everyone was craving for the bagoong rice with the chicken. As in, they couldn't stop talking about it. So I said, okay, let's just do Miam Miam first.
Oo.
And then the word Miam Miam is actually a French term for yummy that kids use.
Oo nga. So why
Okay, why
why
Miam
French
Miam? It's a,
word?
fu- it's
Oo.
a, it's a funny story. No, I was in Paris once. And then we were eating in this Thai restaurant. And I could hear it Miam Miam. No? I was like, why was people saying Miam Miam? And it was full, all the French, it was in this wonderful street. The
Oo.
restaurants beside us, which were French, walang tao masyado. Pero yung Thai restaurant, punong-puno. Sabi
Ano
ko,
mo na?
grabe, iba talaga Asian food. Diba? And then all the kids were like, Miam Miam. And I said, you know what? It's so addicting to say. It sounds Thai. Let's just make it Miam Miam. At least it's original. So that's how
Oo.
the Thai concept started.
Wow. Oh, nice. Actually, we were surprised it was really good. I haven't seen you kasi do Thai food before. I'm not sure, no. But
No, no. First time.
isa nga, ang sarap eh.
Yeah, well, thank you. First time.
Now, I like to ask about Beso Beso, no? But before we leave Miam Miam, kasi nga ang labanan is cloud kitchen. And ito ibang labanan because you don't have rental, you have just kitchen, you have to maximize the kitchen. And siguro one of the key differentiator is the delivery, di ba? In this game, ano bang what's crucial sa tingin mo to win in this game?
All right. I think one of my favorite topics. Thank you for asking that. No, I think what's crucial to win it, and if I may know, if the pandemic has taught us anything, or at least taught me anything, it's made me realize. Kasi alam mo, di ba competitive tayo sa F&B industry? Diba? Yes. Competitive yan eh. It made me realize na, hey guys, you know what? We're all colleagues first and business competitors second.
Correct.
And so with that being said, I think that's one of the blessings of the pandemic. You have this group, no? The mga chefs and restaurateurs, etc., etc. They're all helping each other out. It's so nice that everyone who were once, competing with each other so strongly, is now helping each other out. It's wonderful, no? So I think the number one thing to make it in this industry is, don't shoot yourself and everyone else in the foot with a price war.
Okay.
During this time, I went to parang one of the topics in pricing in business school is you don't want to start a price war because if you do, everyone's margins just shrink. Diba? So that's number one, no? Be knowledgeable about your prices. Kasi medyo myopic yung babagsak mo yung presyo pero hindi ka rin kikita. Diba? Wala ka rin pang expand. So I think is to just keep it at market price. That's good. And number two, definitely quality. Problema kasi ngayon, pag delivery, parang nawawala na yung experience eh. So I believe, I really believe in branded packaging. I believe in green packaging because I have children. I think the ones without children don't really care. Diba? But you want your grandkids to play in a park that has trees and grass. You'll start thinking about green packaging.
Yes.
So talagang pinipilit namin magka-green packaging kami kahit medyo ma-up yung cost ng mga 5, 7, 8 pesos, but green packaging still. And I think the ease of delivery is very important. A lot of people are saying that Grab, Food Panda, Grab sila, they get so much cut. But they're just like a marketplace. They're like an online bazaar. You know what I mean? So they don't have to order from them.
Correct. Yeah, if you think about it.
Yeah, they just add to your audience. Diba? Because if people want to order straight from your Instagram and Facebook, kaya naman.
Okay.
Diba?
But I guess it works if it's a cloud kitchen setup. If you are paying for a big rent, I don't think.
Yes.
It would work.
I think that's why kami, Anton, that's why we do three things. We do dine-in, catering, and cloud kitchen all from one team.
From one team.
Yes.
Okay. Hindi ba magulo? On the kitchen team's perspective, hindi ba kayo naguguluhan?
I always tell them, guys, parang lobby sa hotel lang to. Alam mo yung menu sa hotel lobby? Yeah, they have everything. They have French fries, kiddie, spaghetti, Thai, Pinoy. Sabi ko, guys, wag yun ang problem. Tsaka, in a way, we optimize our inventory. We don't have too much. We don't waste. It takes some getting used to. Pero I think kaya naman. So far naman, I have the buy-in of the chefs. So game sila. Hello?
Sorry. Sorry, naka-mute pala ako.
Sorry.
So, thanks for that. Wanted to ask about Beso Beso next. No?
Sure.
Kasi you did not throw in the towel on fine dining, and I think you're still alive and kicking. And what do you think is the future of this, that fine dining restaurant in a post-pandemic Manila?
I have to say, fine dining is my first love. I think I will. It's kind of like that love that you shouldn't have, but it's there.
Oo.
It costs too much headache, but you just can't get enough, no? I love fine dining. I just love it. I think if you're entering fine dining, it should be part of your portfolio. It cannot be your only card. If it's that way, then it makes sense. And
Okay.
to be honest, I had to really rethink our business model, some part of me in a way so that I could fuel our passion for fine dining. So
Oo.
sabi ko, lagay natin school, catering, cloud kitchen, pero dapat may fine dining pa rin. Parang,
Oo.
pero, pero it helps out. It's good to train talent and it's good to retain really good talent because enjoy sila lahat sa fine dining. And
Okay.
it's
Yun pa
also,
rin yung
huh?
glamour pa din, no? I mean, it's like, it's nice to
glamour pa
work.
din.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice to work. You work with, these are the things of your dreams, diba? When you watch YouTube channels that are, wow, diba, galing, diba? So these are the things that, make you excited to go to work. But syempre, there's another part that's all business. And, it goes hand in hand, I think.
Okay. Now, are you going back to Filipino or you tinabi mo muna yung Filipino? I know you had Eskinita before and modern
Yeah.
Filipino. Ano ba muna ang Filipino ngayon? Because a lot of people are cooking Filipino at home. What do you think about Filipino food?
Well, to answer your first question, Beso Beso is more Spanish leaning, no? We have this thing called Filipiniana, although I think sometimes people get confused. So I just say it's Spanish with local influences, diba? And to be honest, I got inspired by La Picara. I go there quite a lot, and I had this delicious inasal paella. My gosh, sarap. Sarap ng inasal paella ng La Picara. So then, light bulb opened in my head. So kaya naman, diba? We can do it naman. And so that's there. That's there. Filipino food I've never been a pure champion for everyday Filipino food.
Okay.
I like to modernize it.
Yes, modern Filipino, diba?
I like to modernize it. And I think that's probably the contribution that I can provide to our wonderful cuisine. No? I love our cuisine. I think it's delicious. I think certain regions are doing a better job of elevating it. Definitely, the Kapampangans are doing an awesome job. Diba? I'm Ilonggo, so I would like to say Ilonggo, pero sa totoo lang, the Kapampangans are more sophisticated when it comes to their range. But the Ilonggos, we have a very good, parang we have a niched in thing for a few items that are really solid. Diba? And then I think that if every region was serious enough about really highlighting those specific items and elevating it, using something more fresh, adding more things, our cuisine can get up there. Pero sa ngayon, we're still not at that level of global appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's interesting, Anton?
Mm-hmm.
This conversation has happened many times between any foodie, diba? Filipino food.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, the countries that have had the best reception to global cuisine: Japan, Japanese cuisine, Chinese cuisine, Thai cuisine, Vietnamese cuisine. All these cuisines have had royalty and royal courts to entertain. Diba? But previous to that, what was available to the peasants, which means the common folk, was very different from what was eaten in the royal courts. That's why there's royal Thai cuisine. That's why there's all these tea ceremonies. And my gosh, Chinese has so many emperors, diba? There's no hope for us to have royalty. Right now, yung mga Instagram celebrities ang royalties natin eh. Or maybe TikTok. But they're not really helping when it comes to elevating local cuisine. However, what I tell my students, guys, if it's going to happen, it's going to be the younger generation that's going to uplift Filipino food.
Okay.
So I would say give it a go.
Okay.
Don't get chained down by how we did things in the past. Because obviously how we did things in the past is not enough to take Filipino food global.
Mm-hmm.
It'll take the next generation of younger chefs. Just respect tradition, but elevate it forward, diba? And
Mm-mm.
I think that my hope truly is that we'll see Filipino food breakthrough, sana, with the next generation of incoming chefs.
Yeah.
Which is why
And,
also I love education because I
yeah.
get to meet them. I get to meet them.
Hindi ba sila nadi-discourage, the new generation? How do they look forward to the post-pandemic culinary scene?
I believe everyone's discouraged. Uh, I got a message from my partners recently. No, it was nice. Parang because here I was just banging the drum the whole. I was banging the drum the whole pandemic
Uh,
on social media, and then when my social media would turn off, my gosh, bubukas na ako ng mga beer. Yung isang beer ko naging 5. Diba? So stress ako. Sorry, I got so stressed.
uh,
Diba? But eventually, what I think, if I can provide a mindset, no, Anton, for the viewers,
yes. Please.
alam mo guys, when we have mga pagsusubok, adversity, it's really truly the best teacher. And if you think about it this way, if you're gonna give up after a time of adversity where you've learned so much, hindi ba sayang lahat ng natutunan mo if you don't use it now? Parang you're giving up right before you strike gold. Now you're armed with more experience, more knowledge, more wisdom and insight, and then that's the time you give up? No. That's the time you expand your mind. That's the time maybe that you should break through. So don't throw in the towel too soon. But also at the same time, don't fight on if you don't have a plan. Because that's just foolish. Wala kang plano, laban ka lang, that's foolish. Diba?
Okay.
Kailangan you learn talaga from the adversity. And if you learn, use that extra knowledge now for the future. I was talking to our wonderful friend, Adrian Dimacali of Mary Grace.
Okay.
Dami nilang openings this year.
Ang dami ng openings.
Dami nilang openings this year.
Parang
No?
walang
I was
pandemic,
asking him, Adrian, what do you know that we don't? And his comment, I've heard many times from other industries. So it was very nice that he said it. He said, you know what? During this time, people are either folding up or learning and becoming better for the future. And he said, for Mary Grace kami, we want to learn from this so that we can become better for the future. And then when he said that, parang, this light bulb went into my head. And then I said, you know what? I hope that we can adopt that same also for Aleanza and what we do.
Now, I have a follow-up question. No? Kasi I know, pag sinabi mong don't give up the fight, you need to have a plan. I think you're the right person to say that because you've encountered a lot of disruption in your career, a lot of problems throughout, even before the pandemic.
Yeah.
How do you think about it? I mean, can you give us an insight lang? How do you think about it? Kasi alam mo, a lot of people have mental issues na rin because of what's happening. Pandemic lang yun, no? And
Present.
you,
Present.
chef, ever since you started, yung ever since you started and before pandemic and now pandemic, how do you think about this adversity? Ang hirap eh. I mean, for some people siguro, if you have all this adversity throughout your life, parang you give up ka na, no? And the reason I'm asking para you can give us, how do you really think about it and practical tips on how do you handle it mentally?
Thank you for that question. No? I just want to say also before I answer that I am not, there's nothing special about me. It's not like I have possessed this extra thing that others don't. Because there were many times that the towel was already in my hand. Tatapon na lang eh.
Wag.
Many times. Many times. Nandiyan na yung tuwalya sa kamay ko eh. Itcha ko na lang eh. Pero hindi na itcha, no? I know as corny as it sounds, I believe it's how you look at things. Point of view. Like I said, no, if you look as failure and it provides shame in you, it provides a self of worthlessness in you, I think you have the wrong point of view. But if you look as failure as, hey, you know what? I failed because I did not address this. Boing, all of a sudden, your failure becomes a lesson. Diba? So I believe it's Conor McGregor who said this, no? sorry for all my sports quotes, na parang he never loses daw. He only wins or he learns. Those are his only options. And like I said, if you look at this as a failure, I mean, take responsibility for your failure. Don't hide from it. Because, di ba, responsibility mo yun eh. But at the same time, don't let it shame you. Don't
Okay.
let it, you're not labeled by your failure unless you accept it already. Eh. So ang ginagawa ko, Anton, I have to learn from it.
Okay.
It's like this time, no? Can I give a solid example?
Yes. Oh, yes, please.
Solid. This is a very solid example. There was a time in my life that I was a chef. I mean, I am a chef. All I thought about was food. Pero I wasn't very productive when I was like working with others in terms of like strategizing in a board meeting, for example. Because as chefs, we're not taught to think that way. We're taught to either follow or be followed. So at that time, that was my mistake. And at that time, because of my mistake, failure happened. And I could have said, you know what, I never want to get into having to deal with partners ever again, yada, yada, yada. But instead, what I did was I took up course after course, first entrepreneurship, management, finance. So I learned the business side for 2 solid years, Anton. I spent probably, but I won't na lang say how much, I spent a good part of my savings to go to business school. And so that's one solid example. After that, I realized, oh my goodness, I was doing so many things wrong pala. And I accepted the responsibility na these things, A, B, and C, these are on me. Pagkakamali ko to. So now I have to rebuild it and get better at it so I can become a better chef. And these other things, D, E, and F, hindi ko pagkakamali to, but we're not going to gain anything by blaming others and putting them down. So I'll just set that emotion aside and I'll just focus on my positivity. So that's a solid case. And I think that for me created the most positive impact. Identifying my wrongs, fixing it, identifying what was not my wrong and forgiving others for it, and then moving forward. Para hindi ako nadadrag down.
Oh, galing ah. Tsaka nag-aaral ka pa in digital marketing and all this digital
Yeah,
stuff.
digital marketing, entrepreneurship, finance. I think I flunked accounting though.
Okay, my last question also, but let's say hi to Chef Jackie Ang po.
The beautiful pastry chef, Jackie Ang po. Hi, chef.
Emma Ballesteros, hello. Marinerong Cusinero watching from Florida. And then, of course, the Smoke Station Queen.
Yum, yum. Yes, respect the tradition.
Oh.
Thank you.
All right, Chef.
Yes.
No, that was a wonderful example. Thanks for sharing. And tama yun. You have to educate yourself, etc. And learn from the adversity. Now, to wrap up this topic of reinvention, I heard that you're getting into plan forward diet, diba? So, can you tell us more about this
Sure.
like ano ba to, personal reinvention ba to?
Sure. Sige. Okay, ready? Sige.
Yeah.
So month 3 of the pandemic, there was this new invention in the world called inuman. And because of inuman, plus anxiety, worry, and some kind of depression because of the pandemic, I developed a very unhealthy alcohol habit from starting month number 4 of the pandemic. I'm not gonna explain the amounts of alcohol every day, but it wasn't good. I was not proud of it. It came to the point that I was hiding it, and then I realized, kasi also I wasn't able to see my kids, so I was so depressed, grabe. So siguro for a good 3 months, I had this bad alcohol habit, and I fought so hard to toss it away. And as I tossed it away, parang I noticed a lot of, my body aches here, headaches, this and that. Happened, no? So then I went to a functional medicine doctor who introduced me to the gut microbiome, the bacteria that lives inside you that's not human, which apparently is more than your human cells. Can you imagine that? And so after the education, I started researching more on it. And so basically, a plant-based diet that's more whole foods on fruits and vegetables, variety, is just good for you. And I did that. And Anton, I'll tell you everything in my body, my everyday became better. My sleep, my so much things got better. And so then I said, you know what, I really want to do this for myself. And as I researched more, I finally saw my kids again. We were talking about the environment because syempre they were sad with COVID, diba?
Oo.
And so we had this. I'm sure they probably forgot this day, but syempre I'm their dad, so I remember. They were saying na parang, Daddy, you know what? One of our dreams is to save the environment. And so I took it upon myself to, hey, you know what? I'll support you. Diba? So I started researching and everything. And I don't want to sound like a fanatic, no? I'm plant based. I still eat meat and seafood, animal products on the weekends. Although I think that it's not sustainable if, moving forward, if we're continuing at the amounts that we currently do. It's just too much. So, on a personal level, I vowed to lessen my footprint of things that destroy the planet. And that's, a good steak, unfortunately, is the number one cause of pollution in the planet, and soil erosion. Diba? Pero until we come to terms with it, we're never going to make a difference. And then I joined this vegan group. And oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe, Anton, the amount of hate I get in the vegan group. Hate, huh?
Why? Why?
Some of them hate human beings. They'd rather have animals than human beings. I
Oh,
swear. So parang it's not anymore realistic. And so parang there I was, and I was like, say, I was so proud about, yes, we're trying to be more plant-based now, even in the restaurant. And I would get these messages na parang I am the source of destruction in this world. Ang daming gumagatong na iba, no? Kasi parang wala na silang magawa kundi mag-blame. Diba? So then I realized, grabe naman to, diba? If you're gonna be like that, you're never gonna influence other people to be plant-based. So
mm,
instead, what I did was, what, just gradually lang. I'll just offer more plant-based options. And so far naman, it's slowly increasing. But to be honest, it's not enough. It's not
mm,
enough. However, it's better to be, it's a journey. It's not, it doesn't have to be one or not all or nothing. It's a journey. So right now, that's the journey that we're in. And on a personal level, I'm just in the beginning of my plant-based journey. It's only been a year, less than a year. So yun lang naman. I try to encourage it. So that's why Miam Miam's pad thai is vegetarian. It's lacto ovo.
Oo nga.
Diba? And then I asked the chef, can we just please, like 20 to 30% of the menu, just make it plant-based. It's a start.
Oo.
It's a
Yes.
start. I mean, you can have your chicken wings, but then there's a lot of other plant-based options.
Oo, marami naman plant-based sa Thai di ba? Somtam. Masarap yung somtam.
Thank you.
Yes.
I had that for lunch. That was my lunch. Miam Miam was my lunch.
All right. Ang galing,
Thank you.
I'm sure a lot of people watching this video on the replay also will be inspired by your story. Maybe just to wrap up our discussion, if you could talk to the young people out there
Sure.
who's afraid about the industry or what they want to do, any message for the young people out there,
Definitely.
based on your learnings and story, and coming out of this post-pandemic
Okay.
world.
All right. Well, my message for all you younger ones, we live now in a world where there's, my number could be fuzzy, but come on, it's about 7 to 8 billion people. Is it 6 to 8 billion people? There's this social media thing now, and here we are communicating online. I think my message to all of you is that don't allow this pandemic, this digital barrier in between us, to get in the way with human relationships. Because if this pandemic taught us anything, is that we're more connected than we want to give life credit for. Diba? One disease that started in Wuhan spread throughout the world because we're all connected. And then here we are trying to separate ourselves from one another, whether it's being a vegan group that's demonizing meat eaters, or whether it's pula sa dilaw or whatever, dilawan, TDS, whatever. Here we are, we're always trying to separate ourselves from one another. And I think if we are to learn anything from this pandemic, is that the true threat to our health is when we separate ourselves from one another. It's funny because our population has the most it's ever been in our history, yet we separate ourselves from one another. So, that being said, if you're in the industry, remember we're colleagues first, and then later we're business competitors. But it's just like sport. If you watch sports, after the game, everyone shakes hand and it's all good again. And I think that's more important. So let's not lose sight of our humanity, because ultimately, our humanity will be the attribute that actually lifts us out of this pandemic. It's not going to be a government party. It's not going to be the next president. It's our humanity. So don't forget your humanity. That's probably my one message, Anton.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chef. Ang galing nun, no? I'm actually excited nga about about after all this pandemic. Kasi nga, naging mabait yung buong industry, di ba? You know naman, how the industry is before the pandemic. I mean, but ngayon, everybody is really, wala. Parang iba lang. Nag-iba yung feel talaga of the industry. And we help each other out. And, well, for the meantime, online discussions like this. But has to be. But hopefully, we get to visit you in Beso Beso soon.
Sometime soon, yeah.
Yeah, and congratulations.
Thank you.
For
thank
all
you
your
also,
projects.
Thank you also, Anton. And more power to you, no? You're definitely leading with the online space. I'm trying to learn these things also with the online. Pero it's not my hindi siya element ko eh.
Oo nga. Pero I was surprised nga, inaaral mo rin lahat talaga.
Well, you know what? I have to give
digital marketing.
Hindi kasi I have to give props also to Chef Tatong eh. I'm a fan of Simple.
Oo, yes.
I'm a fan of Simple. I watch Erwan's videos a lot. Chef Mom Rosebud, and this new guy Ninong Rai, who apparently is not new, but he's pretty hilarious. Diba? So it's wonderful how they can connect with people through their content. So kailangan rin siyang matutunan kahit paano.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anton.
So what's your main, if people need to connect to Beso Beso Kitchen ba? Or what's the main Instagram?
There's no main. If you want to dine in, please follow Beso Beso PH on Instagram, or Beso Beso PH on Facebook, and you can dine in our dining room, which is mostly tasting menu and express, and we also have an alfresco menu that's international, para siyang hotel lobby. So our patio downstairs fits about 20 to 25 with social distancing, and soon we're gonna open Soon we're gonna open our rooftop. And that's going to fit around 40 with social distancing. It's huge.
Wow.
So we want to get your weddings. We want to get your corporate events. Kung umulan, cancel ang event. Well, kaya nga alfresco eh. It's safe, pero syempre, we're at the mercy of the elements. So that's it. But if you want to order Miam Miam Chicken, it's Miam Miam Thai Kitchen on Instagram and Facebook. And we have our new brand coming soon. I'm so excited to share it with you. It's called Mission Wings Barbecue and Grill.
Wow. Ano to?
I have one. Anton, I'm gonna send you something. It might sound funny, but it's been one of our things that people have been begging for, the partners at least.
Sige.
It's our fried wings. It's kare-kare. Crispy kare-kare wings. OMG.
Wow. All right. Excited to try it out. So mission based on San Francisco Mission Street?
No.
Bakit mission?
Kasi our mission is to make the best Philmex cuisine in the world.
Okay.
Yun yung hanas niya. So that's why may pagka-stripe siya na parang army.
Okay.
So that's the yun yung parang kanyang hanash. So it's Mission Wings. It's gonna have some tacos. But it's Phil Latino, no? Mexico, Tex-Mex, Cuba, Colombia, that whole thing, no? And syempre fast food, but it's all around wings and barbecue.
Uh, all right. Before we
Right.
end, we'll just wanted to say hi again. Beatrice, say hi,
Hi,
chef.
Bea.
And Joanne Hernandez, hi, says,
Hello,
thanks for
Joanna.
the chef, Robbie. I'm inspired with how he's moving forward, both as a chef and being a human being. Definitely will try this new Miam Miam Resto when opportunity permits and go to Central. Love this start. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chef. Ang galing, galing. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
inspiration. Bye-bye.